everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting and another episode of Cash or Trash, where we talk about the hot comics of this past week and make predictions sure to go wrong. And as always, by we, I mean myself and my man Marcus Circumstances. What is going on, sir? How are you?
Good to be back for another week of pooping on the books.
I poop on you. Yeah, that's what we do. It's really. So, I'd like to say that it's not that we're very fair-minded and above board, and we just.
Well, we're not really pooping on the books. We're just pooping on the hype surrounding
the hype surround. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, let's see who we have in the chat tonight. We have my man GT Key hanging out early, coming in at 7 in the morning, and then back at noon, and back at 4. Look at that guy. Dedication. And right here as we were starting, appreciate you, sir. Man, Deep House is here. What is going on? Hope you're doing well. I already see one comic book that qualifies as trash. Only one. We got my man He Who Remains, who is a member of this channel, so I appreciate him as always. Burklar, what is going up, sir? Hope you're doing well. Vinny, what is happening? Deep saying hello to everybody. So yeah, this is our show, the companion, I guess, to my 6-month look back I do on Saturdays. This is the current books and making predictions for that 6-month look back. How we do that, we kind of throw them into categories. Our categories, as always, everybody that's here knows, but somebody new might come. Straight cash, how many books we expect to continue to increase in value, are worth it books we think they're priced about right. Yeah, if you buy in, you may not make much, but you're not gonna lose anything. The flip side of the worth it's the I'll be backs. Again, they're not crazy overpriced, but you probably could be finding some deals if you're a little patient. The traps, these are books that are way overpriced. They're not going to sustain this kind of value. Whatever is happening with them is a bit of a flash in the pan. And then, of course, our dumpster fires. Books that are just fundamentally not worth where they are and are going to drop 60, 70, 80% of the value, and we usually have at least a couple of those every week. So yeah, that is what we're doing here. We got some other guy that actually puts up with you. I don't know how he does it, but I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know how he does it, but we appreciate that he does. we do. Here, my strict ass picks need to be Shan Sharp.
She did get her a nice little bag.
She got a little bag. She did get it. They're all cash, baby, just not U.S. money. So, where'd you get that picture of my bank account? Or that's just a normal dumpster. I might have got a picture. It might be a picture of my account. So that might have been how I got that one. So yeah, are we ready to dig into these books and see what we can say? What we got to say this week? Maybe there's something really, really good. You think?
There's some covers I like.
There's some covers you like. All right. Well, let's dig in here and see what's going on. Let's start with a little bit of Aliens. This is the second week in a row. Alien Earth came out, which is prompting this book to hit the list. Last week, 150 and 8 on raw copies, 1,800 on 9.8. This week, 150 on raw copies, 9.8, 15 to 1,800. So there's been a couple sales underneath. Last week I said worth it, and then Marcus browbeat me. So this week we're going with an all back, even though it's the same price. I have wavered. I am not, I did not stick to my guns. Marcus, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be an I'll be back. It's almost to get in where you fit in, but now is really not the time to be out looking for Aliens books like this. There will be a time when the hype comes down. You're going to get much better prices than you're getting right now. So, yeah, got to be an I'll be back. No question about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think after thinking about it and your logic, I was like, yeah, I was just look. I try to look for books that I could willingly say worth it on, and not just constantly be like, this book sucks. Don't pay this price. And,
so easy.
I know it's not always easy. There is JoJo. What is going on? I hope you are doing well. Glad to see you, JoJo. Yeah. So, Aliens. Like I said, this is a really good book, but you never buy these books around when a project's coming out. You're always looking for the lulls in between. So next, we got Toxic Avenger, still hitting the list. The movie is finally here. $20 to $35, 9.8, 240. Your thoughts, Marcus? I will say, if you watch this week, the 4-year look back that I do, this book, because of casting news, is on from August of 2021. So that'll be an interesting reveal of how much it's dropped. Even with the movie coming out right now. But your thoughts?
Well, 2021 is a rough comparison because it's such a weird outline with COVID.
Yeah.
So because everything's dropped since then. But yeah,
Yes.
this is 100% I'll be back. It's another one of those things where if you're wanting this book, I get it. I actually have this book and it's a cool book to own. But to run out and get it now with the hype that's going on is obviously not the time to get it. You're going to get a much better price once this movie's out and the hype dies down and people stop caring. So yeah, be patient on this one. Worth getting, I'd say, but I'll be back.
Yeah. Horvath has cracked the code. If it's not Mark Spears, it's a trap. I mean, over the last year, that's kind of been the case. He's not like far off there. He's not far off. Next, we got a book I know Marcus despises, doesn't even want to talk about. We got Exquisite Corpses, number 4, the secret foil 1 per store variant, going for 30 to 40. 1 per store is typically about a 1 in 25, so you're basically looking at just slightly above ratio, what would be ratio for the number of copies. Generally, when a 1 per store only gets to like 30 to 40, it's not a great sign that it's going to sustain. But your thoughts here, Marcus?
Yeah, this is a big time trap. I mean, number 1, it's a random issue number, like number 4. So unless there's some story changing events that go on in this book, it's not going to be a relevant book overall if people are chasing the early.
Yeah.
They're going to chase number 1 or they're going to chase any keys, but they're not going to chase a 1 per store because of a fancy cover. So yeah, this is really not a book to run after, chase after, to care about like that. If you really want this book, you should just grab this plain old A cover, and that's going to be your best bet if you're trying to spec. So definitely, I agree with you, a trap.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like once you get past the first issue, unless there's something very special that happens in one of these indie series, it's going to be like a limited run. Really, yeah, you're betting on the wrong. You're betting in the wrong place typically.
Well, that's going to be a key, though, right? Is that it has to be an under the radar series, and so like that's what happened with Something Is Killing the Children. 1 to 7 are all very expensive books because the print run wasn't as big. But once everybody catches on, 8, 9, and 10, you're not going to have any problems because there's plenty of those books. And everybody knew about Exquisite Corpses, so there's not a shortage of these books.
That is correct. Next, we got a cover that you loved last week. You were like, "This, I understand. I love this book." Oh wait, no, that was not you. But back again, Magic number 8, the Russell Donnerman 1 in 25. Last week it was like 50 to 100. This week it's like 50 to 100. It's just on the list again. Still selling pretty well. I put it in I'll be back both weeks. These Russell Donnerman character design variants, I guess, however you want to put it, with all the different costumes the characters had, have been pretty popular. Some of them do go for good value, but I still think this is at the very least an I'll be back. What are your thoughts, Marcus?
Yeah, even if you do like it, which I kind of see the appeal of the cover a little more this time around than I did last time. But even if you're feeling this cover, it's going to be down. Maybe not drastically down, but it will be down. You will get a better deal. So there's no reason not to wait on something like this.
Yeah, for sure. Next, we got second week in a row on this one too. Batman Dark Patterns. This Hayden Sherman. I'm not even sure I think it's still a variant. Yeah, it's still no, it's not a variant. Like you look at the barcode, this is not a variant. Originally, I thought it was a variant. This is just the A cover. Supposedly, this Dark Patterns. The story is like last week. I thought maybe it was the cover. I wasn't sure what was going on here. The story is basically that like people are enjoying the story, but in the early issues didn't have a high print run. But $15 to $35 for this sucker. There's gonna be a Batman. There's gonna be a trade. Like I don't see paying $30 for an issue number 2 just because, like, oh, this series is not bad. Your thoughts, Marcus?
Yeah, books like this are always weird, especially the fact that it's on the list the second week in a row. And I
I
don't
will
know.
say at a lower value, when we talked about it last week, and I double checked the sales, when it first hit the list, it was $30 to $40 last week, and now it's $15 to $35.
Yeah, so there's every once in a while a book like this will hit the list, and it doesn't quite make sense, and it feels, I don't know, but it feels like market manipulation. Because where is this book coming from? And because I'm not hearing people pining over this book in my circles. I don't know about you, so I don't get this one. It doesn't feel right, and it's definitely a dumpster fire. I couldn't agree more. I do like the cover, and I do like Hayden Sherman, but yeah, no reason to be pining over this book at this price.
I'm just going to say to Gordon, you still probably have, if you found an entire warehouse full of those that Dr. Doom from last few weeks, you still have fewer copies than Marcus.
Send them to me. I'll buy them $3 each.
Still fewer copies. Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess, some sort of unique, interesting cover. I just think it's kind of gross looking, but yeah, whatever. Speaking of not necessarily understanding why it's on the list, Absolute Batman number 9. This is the Bane story. I guess we get the first Absolute Deathstroke in here, but we'd already gotten the first Absolute Bane, so it's not his first appearance. It's only going for $5, which is basically cover price on this book. A 9.8 went for $60, which is barely above like what it costs you to get it slabbed. But they put it on the list. I don't know. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's maybe a decade or more down the road. Speculation around this Absolute universe, maybe it starts to maybe have a chance of paying off. But you're so far away from any of that happening on the big screen that if you're out here running to get this book, I really hope it's for the read. It's for your PC. It's for you keeping the run going. It's not because you think you're going to cash out in any time soon because you bought this book. That's absurd. We're so far away from cashing out on these things, I think.
Yeah, and realistically, if you look at any of these over the years, alternate versions, even going back to the original Ultimate Universe, there's one book that carries value, which is Ultimate Spider-Man number 1.
Number 1, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of it, no. And if there's something from Absolute Batman is going to carry value, it's probably going to be number 1. The rest of them, the reintroduction of all these other villains and stuff, generally don't carry any kind of value. Now, albeit people aren't really paying anything over a cover. That's why I put it as whatever. It's like, okay, pay cover, but I'm not. So I was a little confused why it was even on the list. But we have my man, Blue Collar Dan, hop in here. Jay Carter is here. What is up, sir? Glad you could catch us live. Warriors for Info TV. What is happening? So, yeah, glad you guys could all hop in with us. I don't think there's any reason to keep talking about Absolute Batman on this. Let's move along. A book that Ryan and Russ gave no reason other than Uncanny X-Men 142, the second part of Days of Future Past. $100 raw, 9.8, 325, both of which is up a little bit from where this was at. The last time it was on the list and people talked about it, but not dramatically up. And no reason was given as to why now that it was a hot book. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is a cool cover, and it is a classic book, to want. So if you want this in your PC, it makes sense, but it doesn't seem like it's too expensive either.
No.
And this is not an easy book to get. So yeah, I see you have Worth It. I was going to say, I'm going to stick with mine. I'm going to say I'll Be Back, but I'm not mad at the Worth It. That price isn't too bad, especially given how crucial this book is. I think it has all-time value just for being X-Men 97 material. So I'm saying I'll Be Back, but I'm not mad at the Worth It. I'm really not.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously part 2 of an important and famous storyline. It's also technically the first time it's technically Uncanny X-Men, even though previous issues have it on the front cover, but it's the only time it says inside that it's Uncanny, or the first time it says inside that it's Uncanny. But, I mean, I think I wouldn't argue with the I'll be back. It's probably a little high. It's a little more than I would want to pay, but it's not that far off from where it's been now for a while. That's kind of what my thought process on that is. So, yes, as Gordon would labeled Uncanny for the first time. That is correct. The Sentinels. There you go. Jake Carter naming his fantasy football team the Sentinels.
This is the year.
Next, we got Secret Wars number 8. And in this case, it wasn't Tom's show that didn't give us the reason why I was on the list. Oh, it just was Secret Wars number 8 on the list. And what I figured out was because a Mark Jewelers went for a really high value. A raw Mark Jewelers went for $888, whereas like regular raw copies on this go for $50 to $300 depending on condition. But that's really the only reason it made the list is because there was a high Mark Jewelers sale. Obviously, a great book. Do you have anything to add to this one, Marcus?
Yeah, for me, it's a get in where you fit in. This is a classic book that you see on the list constantly and consistently, even without the Secret Wars stuff. So if you're wanting this book, hopefully you're wanting it for the right reasons and you find it for the price you want. Get in where you fit in on this one for me.
All right. Keep moving. All right. I have this just for everyone that knows. I have my little spreadsheet. Marcus gets to see it where I keep the values for my 6 month later show. And I always give a reason, like listing like TV series was the Aliens, movie Toxic Avenger, cover for the Magic thing, buzz related to like Absolute Batman. For this one, this is the first time that I've used this one, although I've thought it. This one's hitting the list because we're lemmings. And we just follow it, people over the cliff. If you don't know, was it Josh Comics or what? I forget what exactly his name is on Instagram. Made a post, posted this book. It said, Taylor Swift's new album is really just code for the fact that she's going to be Dazzler in the new Doomsday movie, and this is the book you want. And then he says, I'm kidding, this is a joke, at the bottom of his post. And then people went out and spent money on this book because of this post. I mean, I realize it's $5 to $15, but somebody paid $125 for 9.8 of this. I mean, help me, Marcus. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't think that people ran out and bought it because they didn't get that the post wasn't a joke. I think they ran out and bought it because they liked the cover. I mean, it's a Doom cover. Doom is hot right now. Dazzler spec is hot right now. It's a combination of two things that I'm not surprised that people are running out to get, even knowing that it's not really confirmed spec. I think I could see people. I have FOMO. Like, I want this cover. I kind of like it, man. I like a lot of those Dazzler covers, actually, especially the number 1. It's a really nice cover.
The color, Dan.
All that said, definitely, this is an I'll be back. Let the hype die down if you saw this cover and you wanted it like I did, but I do get why people want this one.
So I'm just gonna say something, and I appreciate you, Marcus, and I'm gonna be my bitter old man for just a second. You have way more faith in humanity than I do, because I think there's numerous people that fell for that read the first part of this, went no further, and went and bought this book thinking that it was real.
I mean, some of it.
You have way more faith in humanity to think that people are just like, oh, you know what? That is kind of a cool book. They didn't pay crazy prices for it, for the raw copies. But I think there's a ton of people that were like, oh my God, it's happening.
What do you think in the chat? One, if you think that people were fooled and they bought this because they thought it was real spec, or 2, if you agree with me and that they just saw the cover and they liked it. We'll see if we get any responses.
He remains always a ray of sunshine in his
assessment. Come on, guys. Is that not a cool cover, guys? Come on.
Wait, what's
dang it, it's all one. Oh, dang it. Come on, somebody.
Everyone is JoJo, yes.
Not even you too, JoJo. Come on.
Yes, come to the bitter side with me. I appreciate it.
Take that, Bear Island.
Take that, Bear Island. All right. Speaking of people buying books for random reasons. We talked last week about Watchmen because James Gunn had put it on his list of books you should read. And he also put Promethea on the list, another Alan Moore book. And now people are paying $20 and $100+ for 9.8 of this. He didn't say this was not this is stuff we're going to do in DC. This is just like, hey, if you want to get into DC Comics, here's some great DC stories you should read. And so, look at Carlito just sucking up to you. I tell you, he doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe that.
My man. Go
secured his retirement. I like it. So, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this one, like, I get that James Gunn can move the market, but this doesn't seem like a solid reason to move the market. I think you should listen to him. Solid read, but I wouldn't put any spec behind it. That's kind of silly.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to read it, that's great. Go get a trade. Like, don't pay $20 for issue number 1. That just seems silly. So, or pay $100+ for 9.8 that you can't read when the whole point of it was you should read this book. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
We're weird, dude. Comic collectors are weird. We're very weird.
Lemmings. Both of these books I have listed under the reason is for Lemmings. That's why I have it listed. Next, we got a little Supervillain Classics number 1. This is basically just collects a bunch of the early Galactus appearances. I guess post Fantastic Four, people were looking for books where they could get some of these stories without having to pay, obviously, the crazy prices of early Galactus books. $20, a 9.6 went for 76. Any thoughts on this one, Marcus?
Look, the smart money is with JP on this one, that you should probably all be back. Okay, guys? But I personally would pay $20 happily for a high quality copy of this book. I mean, I like it.
It's an 83. It's not like crazy, but yeah.
I would happily pay that price if it was a high quality copy of this book. I love the cover. I love the style of it. This is the kind of book that I pick up out of a bin, regardless if it's on a list or not. I'm picking this book out of a bin. So for me, it feels worth it, but smart money's on. I'll be back.
Yeah. I will say, this is not a book. I don't think I've ever seen this book in a while.
I haven't either. No,
so Reeve talked about it. He's never seen this book anywhere. I don't think I've ever seen this book anywhere. And so
I often like Bob Layton's covers. Yes.
Yeah.
He did didn't he do the Demon in the Bottle cover with isn't that a Bob Layton?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember for sure. Somebody will know. Somebody in the chat will know, because
I like his style.
I think Deep House is saying yes.
Yeah, I really like his style. So I'm a sucker for a Bob Layton cover, which is why I immediately liked this and wanted it.
Yeah, I think some of these early reprints and stuff, I think this is a cool book if you're a big FF or Galactus fan to have. I just wouldn't pay prices right now. I would look for a night. I think you can find a really nice copy, like Lorenzo says here, for $5, even $10. If you're
patient, yeah. Well, I'm not buying a beat up copy for $20, but if it looks clean, 9.8-ish, yeah, I'll put $20 on it.
See, we're saying he sees this book a lot. There you go. Maybe I just haven't dug in the right bins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look for this book next time I have a chance for sure.
But last year Canadian price variant, $30. So yeah. Yeah, that seems a little high for a Canadian price variant. All right, let's keep moving. Marvel Zombies first appearance. We're apparently I thought we'd already gotten this, but after they did the first season of What If, the Marvel Zombies show, they said they were going to do an animated Marvel Zombies series. It's taken this long we've had 3 seasons of What If, right? Or 4 seasons. And then we're finally getting it this next month, 4 episodes. More of Marvel Zombies, because apparently that's what we want. So we're paying $30 for this raw, $165 for a 9.8. Your thoughts, Marcus?
Yeah, I'll be back for me, but I'm not into the zombie stuff, neither DC nor Marvel. So This one may not be for me, but yeah, this is 100%. I'll be back. This hype will die down, and this book will be cheaper.
Apparently, you and I are in the minority because we're getting loving the Marvel zombies.
Yeah.
Blue Collar Dan's going, are they still a thing? So, he remains got robbed by CGC. Dang them. Clearly, having never seen your book, he remains. Clearly, it should have been a 9.8. So, you did get robbed. Rather see Deceased. Getting a meh.
A lot of love for it, though. Most of the time, the chat is met all over the place. It's not often that you see the chat excited about a book, so that's interesting.
No, not really. I mean, there's a few minutes in there, but there's several people excited, so that's good. Next, this was on the list last week. First appearance of Annabelle Adams. So the rumor was she'd been cast for the new Spider-Man, this character I'd never even heard of, and then new Spider-Man movie. And then this week, what Tom and them were saying was, no, the report is that this is the code name they're using for Sadie Sink's character, which, like, it's odd to be using a real character's name for a code name, but I can't imagine that they're casting with everything that's been around her that this is who she's going to be. But anyway, this book is $5 to $25, 9.8, 125 to 135 for the code name. Like, apparently we've spec'd on everything related to Sadie Sink being in the Spider-Man movies, and now we're going to spec on the code names. Your thoughts, Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you are specking on this, I mean, I'll give you a slight chance, but the odds aren't good. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely an I'll be back.
If you pay the $5, fine. If you pay more than that, what do you do?
Because I feel like $20 is the ceiling. Even if it goes well, $20 raw is like the ceiling, I feel like.
So. It's the absolute ceiling. You are not turning this book and making a profit if you pay $20 for it. Well, this is for the new MCU Spider-Man 4 or whatever is what she's going to be in. But yeah. All right, next. So apparently the report is all the people that people were specking on to be the villain for Spider-Man 4 are not the villain for Spider-Man 4. So now we're just going to spec on other random potential villains like Tarantula. Not that there's any like solid spec here. It's just like, oh, maybe it'll be Tarantula. So let's pay 35 to 130, 9.0, 210 to 230. There wasn't any really higher slab copies sold. First appearance of Tarantula. Not crazy higher than what this book just goes for, but your thoughts, Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to say I'll be back on this one. I don't really get, I'm not really big on I mean, how many successes have we seen lately where people were respecting on a character before and then it really worked out for him? It seems like in all cases it comes down, even if you hit it, right? I remember.
That's true.
Yeah, I had a couple of first appearances of Kid Loki. And so I remember when he showed up in the season of Loki, I was like, yes. I mean, I never sell, but I was really excited. But then it didn't mean anything, and that book is completely cratered. So, like, it just seems like even if it works out, it's not really going to work out.
Yeah, so. I mean, villains, the odds of Tarantula being the main villain of a Spider-Man movie is not ever going to happen. Now, could he potentially appear as a villain? Sure. Do we think that's going to lead to you making any money off of flipping this book? No. So, I mean, yeah, if you want it for other reasons, that's great. Don't pay spec prices for it. That character, how people were specking on Dazzler and Taylor Swift. Or, yeah, we already talked about that. The people are doing it again. So, all right, next. Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 19. The first appearance of Alistair Smythe, who's like the son of the original, Spencer Smythe, who builds like the Spider Slayers. So that's another thought, that we're going to get Spider Slayers in this movie. So this one at least is only like $10 to $20. 9.8 though is over 100. But based on rumors of spider slayers in the movie, your thoughts, Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say worth it, even though it's probably and this is another dumb one where smart money's on I'll Be Back. But, on the lower end, $10. I think if I saw this in a bin and it was a nice, high quality book, I think I'd get it just because I like the cover. I like the style. I love that look of the old style comic book. So I'm kind of a sucker for this. So I'm feeling this cover, not because of the spec, just because of the book itself. I would snack this one up, but a smart money's on I'll Be Back.
Yeah, I mean, if I found this in a back issue bin, a nice copy, I would probably grab this just because it's from this era. There's not very many actual, like, if you go back and look, there's not very many actual Mary Jane covers from this era. Like, so she's not on the cover very often. So I would probably just grab it for that purpose, but not because I'm specking on this. So, yeah. I'm with Comic Book Kid 101. A nice MJ cover is why I would probably buy it. But, find this off the rack so long ago, yeah. No better than Carmen. I mean, they have written her very horribly in the last 15 years. I mean, they've done a lot to make you not like her, Tia Remains. You are not wrong. They have done a lot to make you not like her. I think it's all intentionally to get people to stop trying to tell them that they need to put them together. So we're just going to make the fans hate her. I think it's been their strategy. So the Black Cat was on the cover. So it was just like Team Disney. I mean, if you're not Team Disney from Starship Troopers, what are you doing? So, all right, next. A couple of Peacemaker books. We got first appearance of White Rabbit. She did make her appearance in Peacemaker season 2 already. What?
Have you seen it?
I have not watched it yet. No.
Okay. I did.
Yeah. Was it any good?
I liked it. Yeah, she's in it.
Yeah.
Some major retconning going on at the beginning that you should be.
Yes. Well, we knew that was going to happen. He even said that they were doing that. So, why is she wearing Spider-Man's clothes? Mary Jane. I don't know.
You see her
she's
in
the hero of that particular story, I believe, is why she's wearing Spider-Man's clothes. Not that she shoots up. 10 to 20 on this one. 9.638. There was no 9.8 sale that they were putting out there. I put this as an I'll Be Back because, yeah, Peacemaker season 1 didn't really move books. I have a hard time believing season 2 is going to move books. But your thoughts here, Marcus?
Yeah, I want to put what I'm going to say I'll Be Back, but it's really a whatever. Whatever.
Little David Finch cover here that people are liking. Yeah, I mean it's a good cover. So
she has the funny appearance.
It's a great cover for any character that's kind of getting this kind of spotlight on a first appearance. So
I thought her appearance was kind of funny. You don't see much of her, but it was funny.
Yeah. Well, I did see that they looked like they had a comic accurate costume, which means you see quite a bit of her. It's not. So, but anyway.
Yeah, but she's referenced and funny. She's only in it for 5 seconds, but they make it really fun. The context is funny.
Okay. Speaking of, our last book this week, New Teen Titans Annual number 2, first appearance of Vigilante. Again, Peacemaker season 2. 10 to 25 on raw copies, but there was a $45 sale also, but all the other sales were between 10 and 25. 9.8, 125 to 150. This book did this actually a little more than this back when season 1 was coming out, and then dropped right back down to where it always is. But so that's where I'm at on the I'll Be Back. But your thoughts, Marcus?
I feel like this is a $10 book. So if you're getting it at the low end, you're in the worth it range. But
yeah,
anything above that low end is going to be an I'll Be Back. Just take your time on this one. It's a great George Perez cover, but we've seen this book go up and we've seen it come down, and it will do the same again.
So yeah, well, that is this week's list. We had 17 books. Put us back into this thing. Before we get out of here, He Remains and a couple other of my members are here, so we're going to do a quick shout out to my channel members. He Remains. Jay Carter got that gifted membership. Appreciate him. Blue Collar Dan as well. Marcus continues to be a member, which I appreciate greatly. Dave Maris and He Remains are still in my highest tier, so I appreciate those folks. New members get videos, pre-recorded videos early. They get a chance at my giveaways. So thanks to those folks. And Marcus, you got anything you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Same as always, check us out, Indie Comics and Reviews, on Wednesday night for another new Comic Book Day show. And back here next Monday.
All right. With that, we will catch you guys next time. Where's my outro? I'm in the wrong tab. I can't find. I don't know how to operate StreamYard. This is pathetic. Later.